Maybe I shouldn't have ran. Maybe I should just waited for the countdown to start and then. Damn it. Yeah, there was a lot of. I was like 4 or 5 bags. Oh well. Yeah, I need a go lighter or lighter. Yeah, it's all good. I'll just run it. I do have to just get kills. Um, Nothing. Search mission. You said, oh yeah, that one too. What? Oh, are you streaming right now? Ah. On this one extra ammo for this time. So it's 54539. That's okay, I got a gun.
Yes. Yes, the drowns begin.
One second. Got a task for using money.
Just do your stuff. Just do your stuff, and I'll just get the raid ready.
Luckily, I have so much food I can give him. Finished Easy Money Part 2 right away. Got Provide Viewership and Balancing Part 1. I just need to buy a helmet and then I'm ready to go. Hey, helmet.
That's fine.
Oh, I finished a daily for what's his face? Pepper. Killing scabs while I was there.
Nice.
Where are you going? I know
Put the helmet on. What I did? See wall. Oh, it's odd. And the cameras. So money and gun from Pepper. So the task I have for what's his face? Balance. Here we go. Balancing part 1. Eliminate scabs while using the star. Okay, so I guess I'm using the AUG.
Yeah, you gotta get 5 kills with the AUG. That was cool.
Grab that quick.
I haven't refilled since last night.
How do I change this shitty ass fucking scope? You really can't, can you?
You can. You have to replace the integrated scope with a top rail mount and add on the site.
Oh shit. Seems like that's hard to do without the table or whatever.
The workbench, yep.
When do you get the workbench? Or you have to make the workbench, right?
You gotta make the workbench. 2 screws, 2 nuts, or 5 and 5, and a Letterman tool. Oh.
Let's see what I need. Probably the Letterman tool. I think you could buy that though.
Mechanic.
No. Nope, I have the workbench.
Cool. Now you can do edits, but unless until you get the flea
Oh,
market
I was
open,
pressing mod. Yeah, I was doing modded build, not the
edit build.
weapon build.
But
Yeah.
you can't buy stuff off flea market until you're 15, and that's in 2 levels.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just run a regular odd then.
Yeah, it's not horrible. I'll try to just point out.
Mode.
You need the
What
5
ammo does that
scavs.
take?
556.
Oh, this one right here. 55645. I got a bunch of boxes of that. No ammo. I have the M85, whatever the fuck that said.
855 or 856.
M856.
It'll do.
Yeah,
I'm running FMJ, which is not much better.
let's see what I got. Oh, I got a ZB14 key, by the way.
ZB14?
What is that one for? Yeah. I know it's customs, I just don't remember what it's for.
That's woods. ZB14 is woods.
Oh, okay. I got this, and we grab bandages and something for heavy bleed. We'll grab a lot. And then I'm ready to go. I don't have armor, but oh, hold on. Let me ensure this gun. Okay. I'll have to pick one armor over here. Go ahead, start it. I'm going to be using that shit. I'll be back.
Whew. I gotta get that combo back. The metal fuel can, car battery, and sledgehammer. Gotta be a fat boy. Oh, goodness. Well, I hope everyone's doing alright tonight. Any big plans for the 4th, or just literally stand on the balcony and watch everyone in the apartment blow off fireworks?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
I have autistic children. It'd be watching them scream bloody murder because of said fireworks.
Oh.
I work tomorrow. I normally have it off, but I'm doing an event for my company, so I'm getting paid to work tomorrow.
Okay.
And then Saturday, probably just, yeah, we'll chillax,
Take care of the
get
kids.
the headphones ready for the kids, and yeah.
Yeah. I've got more work to do on my kegerator because it's a prefabbed kegerator. I have to now cut lines to replace a line.
Cut what lines?
The feed line.
Are you talking about the refrigeration? So like a vinyl tubing.
Yes.
Okay, I
It's
thought
the
you were
pour
about
line.
to say you were gonna cut the refrigeration. I was about to slap you up sideways. Because I'm like, don't be touching that. It's compressed. Like, most of the time, those are going to be sealed systems. You'd have to tap in a port.
No, Piglet. I'm slow, not stupid.
I mean, it's doable, but I don't.
Despite the
It's dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll push this way. You need go ahead and check inside Big Red. Because there should be players, if not scavs, there. Nothing under the giving. Nothing under the giving stairs.
Oh, I hear him.
Yep. Straight ahead, straight ahead. Outside wall. Outside wall. Good shit.
Puckering of my butthole.
Probably. Yes, baby.
You know what's crazy?
The second she lays down, she's out.
The second she puts that on and then
Yeah, you can. Yes, I know, it's crazy. You can thank Walls for that one.
For what one?
The little sleep machine.
What is it, like a sound, white noise
A
machine?
little white noise, but it's the Rockabye Baby.
Oh, that's what I was hearing yesterday. I was like, who the fuck's he trying to put to sleep?
That was my daughter falling asleep underneath me with her little noise machine.
You're like a chicken. That's your baby chick.
Yes.
I mean, everything else is clear. I guess it was just the one scout for now.
Okay. Watch far side of red.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the other side of red right now.
Well, yeah, around the hole in the wall. That's where.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
Okay. That's where they like to spawn.
Yeah. So I got pushed by 4 scouts there. Yeah, the other game I was playing before I joined you.
Yeah.
Right now I'm by the door in the wall, looting the room that has the filing cabinet.
I am trying to get up on top of train cars. Oh.
I found dorm 303 key.
That's what you need. That's what you need for Bronze Pocket Watch.
303?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to my butt. Alright. Going over to train. Is that you shooting, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to. Because that's like 300 meters?
Right in front of you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to hit that.
Is this the way we need to go? Across the land bridge?
No, we need to go towards dorms now. But do you have Trailer Park Portable Cabin with you?
I do not have that key, no.
Okay, so we'll just grab the Zippo and get the fuck out.
Okay.
Because then we'll respawn. We'll come back with the correct key to plant it. Because you need a key to open and a key to plant.
Okay.
That sounds like it wants to be dorms. Right there, guardrail. Good shit. That's 2. There's Sniper Scav on top of Smoke Tower as well. But you were a little far for that.
bitch's body go?
You're
Oh,
probably.
it is.
I'm about to say.
Taking a quick look at his backpack and just see if any keys and stuff.
Yeah. Do you need
Nope,
the
there's the key.
Which one?
Folding card key.
Folding card key.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Do you have to find the secret extract from Jaeger?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Oh, and if you're getting shot, just kill something. It does not bother me at all if I miss a kill. I can get more.
Okay.
I'd rather you survive.
That sounds like street. Let's go in through first.
Okay.
There's someone out front. What the fuck?
Out of the downstairs window.
Are you good?
Yeah, I snuck up behind this guy and shot him behind the head. I just don't
Nice.
have enough stamina to get
What
in.
the fuck? Where? Who kicked the fucking door?
I'm gonna go in this back. I can't get in. I don't have enough stam.
What the fuck? Okay.
You good? Oh shit. I got scabs somewhere on me. In the forest.
Alright, pushing to
I
2.
can't see anything. I'm booking it for a second. I don't know where this guy is.
This is you outside? Yeah.
Yes, it is. Sorry, my daughter woke up from her nap, unfortunately, at this time of day.
Oof. Alright, let's push 3 and pray for Nova Shala. Clear. Right here.
Drop the Zippo.
Do you have cash? Do you have cash to take car? Or do you have the desire to take car?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I don't mind. Go.
Okay, yeah, let's just take car and...
Your reset.
Yeah.
Come on, do the emergency. Alright, that's good. Careful, there is a scab somewhere outside by the car, in the forest. I don't know where he is. Oh, I found him. Alright, finish it. Killed 2.
That's 3?
Yeah, no, I killed, yeah, I just got it. Just tell me I finished
Oh.
it. Give me
Oh,
just a second to fix my body is broken.
You're fine. Oh, cool, you don't have to run the AUG anymore.
I mean, I still will. It's the best gun I got.
Oh, well, never mind. Car's not here.
Okay. Give me a second to CMS, and I'll be ready to go.
Alright, I'm gonna push to 2.
Oh my god, that's not you!
Oh, fuck. Are you dead?
Yeah, I'm dead. I got shotgunned in the face because I was in the bathroom CMSing.
Okay. Okay, 1 second. Are you in the bathroom on 2?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No, you're in the bathroom.
No, I'm on 3. Yeah. I thought you were still with me. I said to wait. Alright, let me go check on my kids. I'll be back.
Alright. Well, hello there, Gladys. It's been quite some time.
I am back.
Alright, I was able to get everything.
Okay. For future runs, if I say please wait while I heal, please wait while I heal.
I was running to car to check for car. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so I gotta get 1011 old gas. Alright, 1011 it is.
I still finished the
You finished the
mission,
AUG
though.
quest, yeah.
Yeah.
But that just means we have... Do you put... Oh yeah, you put the key in your booty.
Yes, it is.
I don't know whose fault that is.
Whose fault what is?
Gladys. She's like, I said it's been a while. And she's like, whose fault is that? I'm like, oh.
It will always be your fault, Duncan.
It's normally always my fault. Alright,
You're
go
cursed
go
to have it be your
around.
fault.
Go around.
Alright.
Gas station. Oh look, an airdrop. But where? Select color for your CCs and my X. Let's do blue. I'll do blue.
When you say everything, do you mean like armor backpack or just gun?
Everything. Your entire
Okay.
kit.
Alrighty, I will go in with a pack and a gun. So we don't get like ambushed
Tagged
by
and
everybody.
cursed, yeah. Thank you. I am now blue. Who is the other person? That is Piglet. What color do you want your close captains to be, Piglet? I picked blue.
Purple.
Purple if possible.
Yeah, purple's my favorite color.
Okay. I hear you. Now I just have to see you. There you are. Sensobean! Hello, T-Bone.
Hey,
Hello.
T-Bone.
I made dinner.
Nice.
Nice.
So I'm hopping on, but I need to eat first.
Where are you?
I made a new magic deck today too. I don't know how good it is.
There you are.
Nice. Is it like a modern set or like an older one? The commander?
It's a commander set, probably.
No, as in like a modern commander or a older commander.
Oh.
Like a newer commander, sorry.
Yes, I did. BCBM there. Okay, that'll do. Just Google it. care about that.
What is a...
There's no way I can carry the thunderbolt. What are you running in here? I hate you. Okay. Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I love that she's able to use that for her. Okay,
Are they like assistance classes or
Yes.
just... Oh, okay, cool.
Morphine. Okay, whatever. Okay. No key. Where are you? I heard you. There you are.
Damn, he wasn't even moving and you missed.
No, no, I hit him.
Let's see.
I hit him.
Okay, the first shot you hit him?
Yeah.
Okay, I would have missed. That's how much I suck.
I want to be greedy and check boiler, but I'd rather get out with your shit.
Much appreciated.
I'm gonna do
So,
a quick
when
run.
we run together, Duncan, I have
Okay.
ADHD. Tell me, and then I know you do too. So tell me if you're gonna leave a room or even leave a building so I can just follow you. Because I'll be left behind, like I'm always left behind. That's when you I die.
No troll left behind.
Basically. No, but it's no Timmy left behind.
Yeah. Doing a quick blitz through on toilet just for fucking power cords. Come on. You still need a mohawk? No, I don't need a mohawk. And besides, I leave you behind in a heartbeat. I know you would, Curbs.
That'd be the thinnest fucking
It's
mohawk ever.
I know, but all of this section of hair right here, it doesn't grow in. It gets thin and wispy and sporadic.
I could just imagine like a peach fuzz fucking mohawk.
Ugh.
Like your head just went through puberty
Ugh.
for the first time ever.
For the very first time. Oh, I found the peanut mask. Alright, I'm extracting. I'm only allowed... Yes, you're only allowed 2 drowns, and I have to go refill now.
Alright, everybody, start making alt accounts to drown Duncan.
Jesus Christ. Why do you have 40 viewers? It's 5 people with alt accounts. Just so I can drown. Right, I'll be back after I refill my water jugs.
I mean, I have my account, my wife has her account, and she jumps on just to drown Duncan. She'll be watching. She's like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm just here for the drown. And then she'll always be like, why isn't he chugging the whole bottle? How can you drown with just a sip? Before I forget, new alert.
AJ. I was just doing some reading now. Because I didn't really take a whole lot of notes last week. Because I was rehearsing.
Oh. I like it out.
Well,
Her just fucking snoring.
he's like, do you want to take her to bed since she's snoring?
That's like the weirdest message ever. I was about to say that's such a weird message. Even the text was in a weird font. It gave me the ick. It was definitely a bot.
Oh man. I think I got enough. I don't have anything about the dragon other than his name.
Are you gonna play? Okay.
I mean, you could have. He didn't.
What? Get a room. I'm fucking right here. Flip it and flop. My legs are stiff. I'm sorry. T-Bone, you coming?
Yeah. It's an invite.
Okie dokie. Let me unload all my shit. And then Piglet.
Oh, the one who woke up is the evil one.
I know, but from,
What?
I don't know.
My daughter, two of my youngest fell asleep, and the one I told you who woke up, it's the evil one.
Oh.
Evil.
Yeah, she is evil.
You're just a weenie.
Sure it is.
I'm just a baby.
Also, Helen figured somebody would save her eventually.
I'll give you some more ammo as well.
Well,
Or do you even want the log back?
No, I'll take the hog back, but I don't need ammo. I have a bunch of boxes. It's what is it? 56245?
from
Five.
again, from my perspective, I was just
556.
done with these fucking
I have 4
side
boxes of the
quests. That's what it
M856, so I'm just gonna
requires.
box that with me.
Sure, obviously.
Fucking Christ. Okay.
I don't care.
Okay. Do you need heals or anything?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
Just
it's
don't forget
like,
the other key.
It makes it feel like it's
The
not an option. Like we
Toyota
need to do
key?
this thing.
I don't know, whichever key we need.
Oh, trailer park portable cabin. Okay.
Customs, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay. I'm bringing an AUG.
That's fine. What do you mean you
That's
resisted
true.
saying?
That's because. Yeah, but that's also because Bringa is a real one.
Oh, this is the whole fucking bitch.
That's true. And
No, leave it, Duncan. You're too wasting time. Just leave it.
Okay. Alright.
I don't need your charity.
No,
I just need you to not abandon me like.
I
I'm not going
won't-
to complete my
Jesus
sentence
Christ.
because you're streaming.
I'm not gonna fucking abandon you, Piglet. My brother.
Yeah, and we get.
You're my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
Oh, key. Yeah. I don't care about bandage.
I've got the keys.
Hello, Curbs.
Well,
Which I don't know will be on our 4 gig, but.
Where is it? Where is it? Share park mobile cabin. Huh?
If it is, that's fine, because that's initially
Add me
what
real
I
quick.
was bargaining
Got you.
for, but
What's in game name?
Garbage on this?
Young Whippercracker.
Young whip a cracker. Is it him? It isn't him that worries me as my was. Oh goodness.
Are you playing with us, Kirby?
Yes, he is.
Obviously, with the name, I could tell that's your account.
Yes.
I'm ready to go.
Yep, I'm loading it. 7 a.m. I'm ensuring all your shit, just in case. What was said earlier?
definitely does.
I'm gonna do.
Ask
Oh
for
no,
a lot
I
of
love her.
favors.
Well, I said, damn, Kirby, you kidding. And then I was like, right, you're level 35 because you reset like we did.
Flipping and flopping. I don't know what to say.
No reason to reset.
We are in PvE.
Oh, Ember Forge?
Oh, we are
Yeah.
in PvE. We are not in PvP. Maybe when they start the season wipe and with
Yeah.
all the conditions and stuff, I might.
Brother, I need you to I need you to do a few things before you touch
shit.
PvP.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, before I touch live?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm fully aware of
Yeah.
shit that I need to stop doing or change or not do again.
Like,
Yeah.
Not staying in the fucking open and repacking mags and reloading. Actually check corners, lean peek. Don't W key everything. Stay together and actual correct comms without stuttering.
and also AWSing while shooting. Well, walking while shooting and AWSing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what's
it
AWSing?
reduces-
And it's not.
And
If you
that's-
walk AWS and like to try to shoot something, it's gonna be
And
wildly
it's not
inaccurate
just like,
because you
oh,
are
yeah,
also
Hmm.
moving
Durgrim is our friend. No, Durgrim
and can't keep your
stop.
scope
Don't
straight.
don't shoot and stand still.
So we have.
Yeah,
the
basically.
father and
Also,
the
no,
son.
I will argue the G36 is not the best gun in the game. I will argue that. It is just what I have and what I enjoy running for right
Server
now.
connection lost.
The king.
I can't help you with that.
Fuck.
Oh, Duncan's hosting.
Best rifle?
Yeah,
No.
I have M16. Heavy.
that is.
I'd say
And,
M16 is pretty good.
what's the other guy's name?
Oh, who?
not-
Heavy.
Who?
Even though you can't like put it like
What's it?
you have the rage scope then, yeah, like
All these
fine.
things.
I'm always rushing off reloading.
Oh, that actually looks really good, Curbs.
I'm waiting for it to cool down to do a cross section.
Ooh.
Yeah, no.
Best post
I'm
it.
Sure.
I'm gonna fucking eat it before anything.
Okay. Oh, it's just us two. 3.
3.
Alright, mine said delayed. Okay, now I'm in.
Yeah, I think that
Are you-
was-
Okay, I'm
Where
behind
you
you.
at?
Right behind you.
I'm just lagging,
I
you
think
mean.
that was last time.
I'm gonna clear our dorms real
Where the
quick.
fuck did the gun go?
It's right here.
Oh, for me it disappeared into the ground. And thank you.
You're welcome.
I need item.
You know, okay, I was about to say, you know you don't have armor, right? Until you have the P.A.C.A. I will stay with you. I will keep you alive.
Y'all going to dorms or no?
Yeah, we have to, but he's equipping.
Okay.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Alright, Sniper Scav dead. Yay!
Oh, shit, took him out.
I need Pokemon Hobo kills.
Yeah.
99% objects loaded.
Oh, I forgot a grenade.
Have
Did
several.
I? Oh, yeah. To 3-story. We go!
Hopefully they were talking to Matthew.
To death, destruction, and chaos. Alright, Curves, where did you push? There we go.
Someone's in here.
Oh,
Oh, I just heard a slight movement.
Yeah, and I guess if you somebody was being
haven't even supposed.
Oh,
Posted in picture sharing or dank memes, depending if it's a meme or an IRL pic. All right, we'll
Alright.
push it. Coming in on 3.
I'm heading over right now.
I'm on 2.
All right.
I'm in danger.
Elbow. I hear
Alright.
more motherfuckers, but that could just be y'all.
Yeah, that's us.
We're on third floor.
Yep.
I already got what I
Two-story?
needed, so we can go ahead and go.
Okay.
You knocked through the 2-story already?
No, we have not touched 2
No.
story.
214. I should really just
Let
buy
me
the
know when you're
key.
gonna leave.
I'm right outside the entrance of 3rd. Whenever you're ready to leave,
Desmond
Piglet.
CD.
Where do you want me to exit?
Front of 3. And then we're gonna go right. We're gonna go right to bridge.
Do you still need Big Red, Duncan? Because I need to go there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, do you have Tarkons?
That's correct, I do.
Okay, so we'll go Big Red and then I guess factory afterwards.
I
Okay.
mean, we can go factory now and hit Big Red. That's no fucking extract. We can make our way over to extract. And just hit the shit we need to along the way. I don't know why we'd run all the way over there. Just run all the way back.
Because our extract is Crossroads and we have to drop the golden swag off for Piglet.
Which is near Crossroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're saying warehouse, not trailer park.
I'm just gonna go to Big Red.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. It is done. Alright.
Oh, that's y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'll check on it.
I
In
was
a
like, someone's
second.
at the Crossroad. I'm on smuggler campsite.
Okay. Valley.
I need scav kills with the dogs, so I'm just gonna work on that for a little bit.
You only need 5, which is actually not that hard.
Get the dog fuck out of me. Diddy armor.
Diddy. Baby oil in the creases.
Oh, you probably smacks here.
That's how bullets slip through.
Absolutely. It's not over pen. It's the baby oil.
Mm-hmm.
My poor PC screaming at me.
Hasn't done that in a while.
It's been screaming at me.
It just screams at me like constantly.
I love how we all make upgrades. Wish for Unity, other heretic
fuck?
that did not agree to
Someone's
review
got
the
hurt?
exhibit of my inventory attributes.
I did.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
Just give me a minute.
I fell and took like 2 damage to each leg.
All I heard was, "Urgh." I was like, oh shit, am I getting followed?
Yeah, you are. Bring me
Oh,
the
the
cheeks,
fuck?
dog. Come here.
Alright, we are at Big Red, but we're gonna plant his Zippo
Oh,
first.
shit.
Yeah, what's up, dog? Me? Being serious. Oh, we thought I was lying. Nah.
All of you.
I'm like, you're being followed, huh? Oh.
T-Bone will remember that.
He could have actually smoked my shit and I would have not known.
When my liver comes back on my blood work, that I have an overactive liver or bladder, I will blame all of you.
And you can't blame me for shit.
Right there, and here.
Okay, they're outside in the field.
I'm opening Tarkon.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm making sure Piglet stays safe while he plants the Zippo.
You want to clear out garage while I open up Tarkon or no?
Thank you. I've had it for so many years. I actually lost my ring. I've lost so much weight that it doesn't want to stay on it, and I just kind of flung somewhere off my
I think about your
hand.
wedding ring.
My
Search
My
that
pseudo
scout once
wedding
I
ring,
get back
yeah.
down there.
Your engagement ring, basically. Yeah, that happened to me twice because when I was on Ozempic, I lost a lot of hand weight, which is weird, and
Yeah.
it flew off while I was doing plumbing.
Yeah, while I was running around town yesterday, I had it when I left the house, and then about halfway through the day, I noticed I didn't have it, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" I'm like,
Yeah, hey, that happens.
I had that ring
I'm
for
in the
like
garages.
4 years, 5 years, and it's like it kind of sucks.
It happens.
It's only like $12 on Amazon, but it's still the point that like
Yeah.
I've had that ring.
Hello.
All right, I got delivery. I'm assuming
mine
you've hit safe.
Yeah, I hit save already. I'm hitting everything in here.
Okay.
I need a lion like a motherfucker.
I found like 3 lions in one raid one day. It was so weird.
That's all I need for my scav junk box. I need that.
You need that, and
I have someone in the garage.
alright. I need a singular power
Someone else in
cord.
garage.
What's in garage?
No one's garage.
Nope, we're all in Big Red.
Roger.
I need a singular power cord.
You can just fucking make them.
I know. Ew, Saigo. I say ew until I need it.
Audio's so stupid in this game.
Where did you go, Duncan?
I'm still in Big Red.
Okay, I'll wait for you.
Ooh, military power filter.
I'm just at the bottom floor.
Okay, hello T-Bone. I already checked there.
Oh, you got this? Alright, cool.
MP7
if you see-
SPM syringe.
You have an MP7?
Found it in the
Alright,
fucking
cool.
thing.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah, dude. I fucking love MP7. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of my favorite guns in this
You
game.
want it?
Fuck.
I don't want
I
it.
got these cheese, fucking man. I'll suck your dick, man. Come on, man.
What? Alright, me and Piglet are now in garages at corner.
Okay.
I'm in one of the mini cars.
I'm in the center.
Okay.
Center lane.
I'll ahead of you. I think we're like right next to each other.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm in the center lane. I see you. Turn around.
That was me.
Yeah. Fine, you.
I just don't want to make fucking power cords.
What's up?
He's dead.
Damn.
Is that you at the end with the flashlight?
Yeah.
Yes, it's us.
Okay.
I always be thinking there's a fucking bomb in here.
I don't know.
No, in
Oh.
this room.
Oh, because of the propane tanks.
Oh, I know what the propane tanks are. Is there a red rounded thingy thing? Fuck, that's what I really.
What? Red rounded
Tool
biggity
set.
thing?
We need a tool set.
I'm good. I'm fresh
Piglet's
off
gonna
that.
need a tool set. He's gonna need a tool
Piglet's
set.
gonna need one.
Well,
You said you offer that MP7 though?
Got it.
Alright.
You offer that MP7 Kirby or not?
It's on a dead body like in the first row.
Oh, okay.
Alright, time to get out. Let's go!
I like the MP7 a lot.
Not this. Oh, it's on the other side. God damn.
Girl!
It's on the other.
What?
No,
How many
it's-
is that? 1, 2, 3, 4,
You can go
5,
this way.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11. That's 11 G36s. And why are like...
Don't pause up to 6-7, dog, please. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard to be good. All I heard was 6, 7, 8, and I was like, ah, god damn it.
I was a spherical gluttonous creature of the sable variety. Select a color.
Syringe, stem 9.
Oh, Kurt.
yeah, it is.
Curbs, what color do you
Hello.
want your CCs to be for Gladix?
Can't be black.
Yeah. Can
Unless
it?
it can be black.
Can it be black? That's a very open-ended question.
You got
I
it?
got the MP7. Appreciate
Okay.
it. Thanks for letting me know where it was. Dude, the MP7 like it is unironically my favorite SMG. Just in
It can.
Can
It would be
be
very
very
hard to read. So what about?
Red, red or yellow, if that's possible.
Where are you getting all of these G36s? And why are some named Enyo and one is named Atlanta? Whatever.
But no, the MP7 is like my favorite. So I love H&K. And I just grabbed all the shit so I could sell it. Like the Stim 9's worth a little bit of money, especially with the stick mag. All this shit in my backpack's getting sold.
Alright,
All
so
of it.
prep your loadouts for factory.
So I'm bringing what I had on me because I need to kill scavs.
Fuck is this?
Bringing one for Sean.
Edge of Darkness experience bonus.
Huh? Wow.
I get a 12% bonus because I gave Nikita money like way back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's fucked up. I gave that bitch like money 3 times.
I got that bitch money
I did.
once.
Twice.
3 for me.
Well, basic edition,
Well,
Edge of Darkness upgrade. That one got
Oh, I did Edge of Darkness 3 fucking times.
I did Edge of Darkness of the upgrade once, and it got banned because someone said it was a hacker account when it wasn't, and so I repaid
Lies,
for
you're
it.
a hacker.
I was not. Do not spread that filth.
I mean, you suck enough for the accusation to count.
Wow. I can't. Damn.
Damn. That's all
That's,
fucked up.
That's crazy.
It's all love.
that's
It's all
crazy.
love.
That's
Crazy. It's crazy once. Fucking room.
no, no. We are better than that.
Pass.
No, the
Side.
fuck we're
Dude.
not. No, the fuck I'm
Factory.
not. Don't you fucking give me hope.
Said we.
Annual War Sisters to the presets I have. Okay.
Fuck, we're not.
Those are the built ones. The rest
Healthcare
are
Privacy Part 5.
Curbs, you are now red, which is her favorite color. He clearly is just better than
That's
some
also my
people. Okay.
Hmm,
Okay.
what to run? I mean,
Yeah,
I
just
kind of like
do-
this. I'll run my favorite gun, but I don't have what I need to like make it all good. And don't judge me for what my favorite gun is,
I'm
okay?
not judging you. Okay, I literally have nothing at factory to do except.
My favorite gun is the STM-9.
Oh.
Well, that's actually
Should not grab it?
The STM-9. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, I
9 by
really
19
called it out.
carbine.
I had a Stim
What do you
9,
mean?
brother. I could have given it to you.
There was one on a dead body.
Oh, I didn't know that.
yes,
Oh.
Kirby.
I forgot.
Yes, Kirby is
I for-
single.
Oh,
That's,
Going ready to mingle.
she's writing that down.
Where's your cup?
bringing time 9 by 19? I do. I'm using green tracer ammo.
Hey, hey, hey.
Guess I'm not with anything.
Do I have any food that okay, Tashanka that I don't care about? And
Just
then
got ammo growing.
Yeah, that's only got 600 or 68,000 that raid. That hurt.
Let me put them
no, I'm getting
still
low
on
on.
this page.
I say I'm getting low. I'm at 3.4 mil.
Anyways, the mind's beckon. I shall return. Stop being a stranger. Good. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think I'm ready.
That might be the night I fucking end it all, boys. It's soupy. It's still soupy in the middle.
What?
How the fuck?
What
It's
is soupy in the
his-
middle?
His brownie.
Okay, first of all, you know how to make brownies, right?
No.
Okay, so you're gonna want the edges to be firm. Put the toothpick in the center of the brownie, and
I
it
did do the
has to
toothpick
stick.
trick.
Okay, it's gonna stick just ever so slightly to it. You're going to take it out of the oven and let it rest. It will continue to cook by itself for 10 minutes. Like the center
I
will
took
start
it
to
out of the
harden.
oven before we even started the raid.
Oh God, why? So, how long do you put it in the oven for, and what temperature? You're looking at maybe
350,
350 for like 30 minutes.
That was about that time. I'm not entirely
Then you
sure. I may
probably-
have put too many things in it.
How deep was the
The-
pan? Like,
What things did? Okay, hold on. What things did you put in it?
I mean, the Hershey's cookies and cream chocolate bars, and then the
That's gonna add a more liquid to it as it melts, so it's gonna need more time to cook. Same thing if you add chocolate chips, any nuts because they release oils.
Daily.
And then if you want to counteract that, you add just like an additional tablespoon of flour.
Dude, fucking Jaeger is the fucking goat right now.
So you could technically, if it's already cooled down and it's still like gooey in the center or whatever, just put it back in the oven. It's gonna be drier than it should be because of that, but at least it won't be raw.
Yeah, I'm riding. I'm preheating the oven again.
Okay.
Eating
Gotta
this
kill-
eating this gooey mess that's on my plate.
Did you use eggs to make that?
Shut up.
Okay, so that gooey mess may give you gooey booty. So just be aware of that.
gooey booey.
I knew the risk. I knew the risk since I was 7. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't
Okay.
give a
Dude,
fuck,
so-
dude.
Do you?
I have a daily from Jaeger. Kill 3 PMCs.
I am lactose intolerant. I've been dealing with shitty booty all my fucking life.
You don't give no fuck. No,
Far away, me too.
Duncan, my fucking Jaeger task is kill 3 PMCs for a tank battery.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Right? I'm fucking rushing the plant and then fucking throwing myself in.
Hold on, let me actually Google something. Then I have a couple tasks factory.
Oh, did you kick out of your seat?
I always am.
Is it like Black Swan and stuff like that?
It's the walls have eyes.
I pulled them into my lap, but no. Yeah, God forbid I get up from my seat. You wanna who's always the quickest to take it back?
Okay, one above gate 3. One above gate 4.
I can't hear you. You need to speak up.
Huh?
You speak.
Huh?
Stella or Bella?
Bella.
Stella? She ate your chips.
He's a killer, Bella.
Oh, what a fatty. That's not
Look what
nice.
I did.
Oh, you got it to work.
I carved it out.
You're fine. Go tell your sister she has a big head.
With a knife.
Is that how you settle it?
Nodding
Yeah.
your head Because you're thinking, yeah, that
What?
sounds about
Daddy
right
says
to
you have a
me.
Is that
big
how you-
head.
That's how you settle differences? Yo, go cook her.
Yeah. I mean, so it got to a point, because the youngest one is the bully, that she would just punch her sister in the face, the oldest one, and she would just sit there, cry, and let her keep punching her. It was like, girl, you need to hit back. At this point, just hit back. Like at first, I was like, don't hit your sister, but I'm like, oh, just she's the one dishing it out. You
At
need,
this
to, you
point,
need to
just-
fight for,
At this
stick for
point, just
yourself.
Yeah,
up.
beat her ass.
Stick up for yourself. No, not
don't,
beat
like,
her
you know,
ass, but stick
Don't
up for
destroy
yourself.
her.
Yeah,
Just like push
stick
her,
up
like,
for
push her
yourself.
alert.
Serafina
Yeah.
kicks like a fucking mule. We'll be playing and she'll just throw a kick and it's like catches you on the jaw to put you on the floor.
It's the
Sorry.
3-year-old taking out the 7-year-old. That's crazy for me.
Yeah. All right, we ready?
Yep.
To use Richard peanut butter.
So we're rushing gate 3 for delivery, and then I guess we're rushing offices, and then we're gonna help Kirby with whatever things he needs.
Yeah. I'm having an issue with some of the players in my D&D campaign that's starting to really, really upset me.
We all do.
Well, two of them. I've been in a really bad like motivational spot to actually try and plan to run D&D because two people in the party don't make it fun for me to run.
Yeah.
And those same two people, they're like, "Hey, are we playing tomorrow?" And I said, "No, I don't. I'm still having this issue unless I'm going to my sister's for family dinner and all that kind of stuff." Like, well, I appreciate thanks, but I would appreciate a sooner heads up. Like, it's the day before, not day
Let's
of.
go.
You're not entitled to anything.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. All right, push.
I mean, at the same time, you do. It is. There's also like a respect of other people's time kind of thing. If you have this planned out and then tell anybody,
Oh!
Dude, okay, now can you can't fucking
Okay.
because I just hard crashed.
the car got crashed. You good?
My tarkov just hard crashed. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
I think I just dropped like 4 or 5 scabs.
Duncan fucking hosts. Me and Toe have fucking connectivity issues, and we crash every fucking time.
It's that sticky Texas internet.
That's sticky.
Sticky
I'm on
is
third.
That's one of you guys, right?
Third.
I'm
yeah.
here with you. I'm pushing into the room.
Yeah, push to me. Push on me, bro. You got delivery?
What? Oh,
Yeah, I already planted.
I
yeah,
have
or you
delivery
need
Yeah.
you need me over here or no?
Okay, never mind.
All right, pushing down to
Okay.
first.
Need a golden fucking. Please, if you find the lion.
Yes, if I find
No, I
lion,
found a
I'll take
horse.
it. Well, you need a horse for a Doc's case trade.
No, I know. I'm
Horse,
saying
same-
like I didn't find the
Duncan,
lion.
same bug. Oh, never mind. We're good.
Okay,
Escape,
okay.
Reconnect.
Found a cricket.
I found a
Please.
horse as well.
Where are y'all?
Please be nice to
going
me.
here.
I'm on
Like,
first.
Please.
I'm about to say,
I'm on
what?
third, searching the filing cabinet.
All right, if you find a power cord,
I know.
I need it for my closet. That's the secret. What the fuck?
Gonna hang yourself up there or something?
You getting shot,
Hello?
T-Bone?
No, I'm not in.
Oh, player
I'm
around
loading
stripper.
objects.
Okay. I'm done in
make
here.
sure
I'm heading out.
I'm on bathrooms.
But we're all in offices,
Uh-oh,
right?
that's tequila. That's tequila. Opposite side of stripper. Oh, that's a grenade. Oh, fuck. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me.
Who's in the walkway?
Ow. Fuck.
I'm on the stairs.
What? Okay, somebody's on the walkway that goes across.
Catwalk.
Catwalk, there you go.
Oh, grenade. Oh, that would have got me.
Who's going down the catwalk?
Got me.
That's not in me.
God damn it.
Oh, shit, grenade.
Buddy.
Hello?
That's you, right?
That's T-Bone.
Who's shooting outside on fucking metal stairs?
Me. I'm on metal stairs by delivery.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm on catwalk going towards middle.
I'm planting before anything else.
Alright, do so.
Go ahead. You know what? I'm coming to you for cover.
5 seconds, don't worry about it.
Careful, tequila is on the opposite side of stripper.
Grab the bitch ass. I'm going for him. Fuck it. I got 995 in this bitch. Let's
Alright.
get it.
I'm in the middle.
Boy, I'm up top.
I have so much running around me. It's like distressing.
Check inside boiler. He might be there.
That's me. Me.
He's not over here.
Okay.
Did he go down?
Maybe.
Blood. Holy shit. I'm scared to go down here.
Who's in the boiler room?
Me.
Okay, I'm here with you.
Okay.
I won't go down that bitch.
Good luck.
You're so brave.
There is a body. Multiple bodies.
Oh, so he's down there.
Oh, this.
He's totally down there.
I have him on me.
EMC.
Med tits.
Kill the
Okay,
PMC.
med tents, med tents.
Kill the PMC.
I killed him.
Good
Okay,
shit,
I'm
good shit.
It's me.
Oh fuck. I need someone to cover me, please. I
Cover
have a
me.
black leg and a black arm.
Coming to med tents. On my way.
I'm already here.
Okay.
He's here. I need to do this. Ibuprofen. And I'm gonna move inside of this fucking building right here to do surgery. Homie got me to fucking one shot. I'm so happy I'm alive.
This PMC dropped to the floor.
I have some props.
I shot him in the head.
Yeah, prop would be amazing, please.
Here you go.
I'm coming up from I have no idea where.
Dude, I could.
Oh my god. Is that you at the fire hydrant?
Fire.
Is it you guys? There's somebody next to like a fire thing.
You good? You good?
Cock hole.
I don't want to shoot anybody.
I'm in
I'm
the
right here,
offices.
coming upstairs. Yeah, I'm coming up first floor. Okay.
I'm just gonna
I'm
flash
here.
my fucking.
Hey.
Dude, I'm at
Alright.
Kirby. I'm at ADHD, dog. I'm gonna be real with you. That
Alright.
fucking-
This isn't offices, by the way. Oh my god,
This
is
is
that you guys or is that Tagilla?
This is.
The Gilla's on
Oh,
the.
this is
on the
offices?
thing.
Oh, it is
There's
offices.
two
It looks like
offices.
what's my call? Oh,
The
okay.
Gilla's out here to
I
the right
killed
on the
Gilla.
ramp.
Oh, you dead?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
See
damage.
Nice.
I want to heal.
I was afraid. Oh, my bad. My bad.
Oh,
My
it's
bad.
just a fucking arm.
No, it's because I just want to finish looting the bodies.
Yeah.
Dude, if you fucking spam fire that thing at me, I should be dead. I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone take a moment, heal up, catch your breath.
Oh yeah,
Who
I am.
needs L1? Who needs an L1 for
Eventually I'll need it. But I'm not worried about it.
Oh, fuck.
Is one of you guys moving? Oh my god. Oh my god. Who shot at? And he's over by med tent. One who's moving. There's two down.
I need 2 more scabs.
No, they're right here. I just killed these guys over here.
Alright.
Bouncing. I need 1 more scab kill. Oh, right, because the boss counts.
There you go.
Bouncing around, bouncing around.
I think there's one over by med tent.
I killed that one already.
Just now?
Yeah, the one that the shotgun that was
Okay.
shooting at you.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I tapped him already.
Nice.
All right, bouncing's done.
Bean, Axel. Fruit. I've got to eat.
I'm excited.
What are the things that you need to do, Curbs?
I need to get to these fucking things. You know,
Scout
need to get
by
up
med
top,
tents.
actually. Roger. Running towards med tent.
Okay.
There's one inside of lower boiler in mid. The one in med tent. That's the one in med tents because I'm over here. I don't hear him.
I'm
Oh,
over
and
by
my-
that
there's
middle
one in
step
med
down.
tents. He's inside of med tent himself.
Okay.
Arm triple.
One over here in the middle. Middle office, like when you're going out the exit. You said you need one more, right?
I'm good. That's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done. I got mine done. I don't know.
There's another scatter screen over here.
Oh, fuck, brother. Who just fucking shot me?
Got him.
Fuck me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm leaving. I'm done with this shit.
I know one of your things is gate 3, Curbs.
Don't see me.
What are you guys?
Stripper.
What the fuck is this thing?
What are you looking for?
It's like an in
What?
airplane.
Like a what?
In this
Oh, the helicopter.
in the-
It's in the floorboards.
Yeah.
It's kind of bugged inside the floorboards.
It's a good rig.
Aha. Holy fuck.
Alright, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
If I had the space, I would have took it.
I need to
Kirby,
take the
appreciate
Wi-Fi
the
camera.
all. That really helped me.
What
the
would
fuck
really
out.
help you?
Kirby gave me a propanol as I was fucking like 80 HP from fucking to kill it.
Oh, it's near
Smacking my
gate
shit.
0.
Gate 0 is the opposite side of
Yeah.
offices.
Fuck it.
Room 3. So don't tell Ben this, but I'm making him his dice for his birthday.
Anybody still in the raid?
I am.
I am,
Okay.
but I'm leaving right now.
Yeah, I'm pushing 3.
Yeah, I'm in there right now.
Oh. It's a ghost!
I am out.
Oh, no, you're not shooting at me, pussy. Back in that fucking office, pussy, if I kill you.
I wonder how I did. I feel like I got a pretty good amount of kills.
I got a few. Not a whole lot.
Yeah, this is the only gun I'm really good with, other than like an 8R. I
What I
got
fucking say?
8 kills.
Good shit.
7 scavs, 1 bear. I thought this dude's name was McClit, but it's Mac Pick.
Dude, a 40-second plant is outrageous.
Bandana Bunkers. I guess he's one of Ben's friends.
N or the other guy? Or somebody else?
Someone completely new.
Alright, well, I gotta use Takas.
I will
Get outta
transfer.
here.
I will transfer leadership. Who's still running?
I'm gonna put my blondies back in the oven.
Run fucking,
Didn't you not like look up a recipe or something?
It's brownies. You kind of whatever. How does
When
everyone
I
feel
kill a
about?
PMC.
How does everyone feel about woods?
So about
not really wanting to fuck with Woods, if I'm being honest. That event kind of tired me out. Played a fuck ton of it.
Okay, I mean, like, that's completely fair.
Doesn't matter to me.
Oh, shit.
Well, actually, I'm actually down to go, because test drive would be good on that map. All that. I really should just do that map.
Oh, wait. Oh, no.
That 80, 120.
Jaeger.
Speaking of you.
Oh, it's only 200k for you can buy the ammo pack. Wait.
Oh yeah, turn in your quests.
Alright.
BP Depot.
So back to customs.
Well, no, we don't have to.
Once you provide.
Me, it don't matter. I got chemical part 1 and full component, so. I also have to provide viewership. So we can go woods, we can go custom, don't matter.
Well, I wouldn't say would since at least one person said no. So I'm gonna just go one.
Hey,
Go back to
Precious,
customs.
what's up? So, okay. Shoreline, I have scrap metal. Ground Zero, Shady Contractor, and the Minefields. Customs, BP Depot, Rite of Passage, Polcom, and Chemical 1, Pharmacist. That's going okay so far. Yeah, so we can go Ground Zero, Customs, or Woods. Y'all's call. We already said no to Woods, so Ground Zero's Custom.
No one's gonna say anything. I'll just say custom.
Okay.
I mean, I said it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. I still technically said something, damn it.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
Anyway.
Alright,
You
Customs.
said we're
it
right now?
is. Customs.
Okay, cool. Let me just give me 1 second. Yes, I need a USB 45 mags.
Save the fucking hot rod.
That one.
MXLR, I don't care enough. The VPO, okay, let's sell a few things.
Alright, oh, drinking water.
I wonder how much coffee.
Cool. I am ready.
Okay. I have to transfer leadership, so give me a second on that one.
Mm-hmm.
The mill for a single usage.
Oof.
Fuck it. I got money to blow.
W, making it happen. Transferring to T-Bone. There you go.
I just need one more phase control relay to do my nutrition unit.
I don't know what I need to do for upgrades. I need to start water collector.
I need 4 more corrugated hoses for water collector.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I was muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, I still haven't done.
Sneezed hella bad and
Forgot to unmute. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm one T-plug short from making the wires. Whatever. What the fuck ever.
I'm about to start making my wires right now.
Oh, I forgot about Shooterborn. I'm almost done with Shooterborn.
I was muted that entire time. I was actually okay with going woods because
Now we heard you.
it's good for fucking just
Test drive.
one fucking test drive. Yeah. So I need tape measure, I need raid, and I need can of salt for that. I need 3 salts.
Oh, the salts. Yeah, that's. Fuck. I think we're gonna run customs again and do it all for Piglet because he needs.
There you go.
Huh?
Well, we have BP Depot, so we can do that.
Yeah.
We'll also bring him.
Yeah, BP Depot.
So bring your markers.
I brought all my 4. I have no food.
That up.
I'll get on that.
Alright.
I say either shoreline or I think shoreline should be the next one.
I
Shoreline.
thought we were running custom.
No, we're running customs. He's saying after this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
after this one, I think shoreline should be our
I have scrap metal on shoreline.
I have scrap metal too. But once I get farming done, then I'll have signal 1.
Yeah.
So I think
So instead of shoreline, why don't we, after that, push ground zero for the mines, and just make that a quick 15-minute raid,
fair enough.
and then, or we can do woods after that.
Okay, that works.
Because I still need search convoy, and I know.
I need search convoy. I need scav kills without body armor on.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do this customs, then we'll do woods and
I need
work on
shipping.
those.
I've got a lot of woods cast. Actually, now I stop and look at it.
Yeah.
I have 4 or 5 on woods. Search mission, unprotected but dangerous, shootout picnic, helping hand, shipping delay.
Yeah. So we'll do.
Funny.
So we'll do this
Ready?
customs, then we'll do woods and see how it is from there.
Our customs 12 and sure. No, I need to kill 2 PMCs with P.A.K.A, so this is gonna fucking suck. But Ben's dice that I have are scarlet and graphite black. Now, I'm gonna paint the numbers gold. I then also have a set of gold and like royal blue set in there too. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. I can pull them out and check.
5.
Hey Siri, set an alarm for 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Alright, start myself.
Thank you. Brother. Who is this? Precious, thank you. So, welcome to the server, bud.
I'm excited for those, dude. Like, honestly. Because the first set came out okay, but the issue that I'm having is I put too much mica powder on the green. So it's just super fucking, it just collapses when you put any sort of pressure onto it. It always bounces back to its shape and reforms, though. So it works as a proper dice, but it's not full on, like, you know.
I'm bad. I have not done my raid reset for the day. I was busy.
So are we playing Magic today or no?
Well, if we want to play Magic, we can do this raid and then swap.
The reason why I ask is because I just made a new deck and I want to check it out.
Okay.
Like chemical. So for me.
I'm waiting for everybody else to load in.
Alright, I'm in.
It doesn't matter.
I'll
I'm in
bring
now.
Toe to it.
Alright.
Toe?
The train for... Oh, yeah, we got a hop.
Yep. If y'all see PMCs, please tell me. Please let me know so I
Okay.
can get this fucking P.A.K.A done. And
Okay.
fucking test drive.
Wait. Oh, we have to do fucking new gas for... Because it's new gas,
Yep.
old gas.
Alright, Toe, you see the thing in front of me?
Yeah.
6 more
Right there.
scavs.
New gas, old old construction, crossroads.
Yeah. So this works. We just got to clear fucking... Oh,
The whole fucking map.
You're fine.
thank you.
Welcome.
That good?
I'd say Duncan's ass.
I literally was ADS'd on his head. I was like, fuck! I thought I had it.
Sniper scab on tower is dead.
Yeah.
Isn't there something I have to find in here or
shit.
no? Or are they just stepping in here?
For what? Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
you have
Yes,
to
there's something
find.
you have to find. It's hidden, but you'll get the circle thing around it.
It's usually in the corners. Why am I so low?
Found it.
Alright.
Now I understand what you meant.
I
Yeah,
always
it's
check
wedged
the
in
white
boxes.
card.
That's new. Okay. Where do I go now?
Right.
There's one scab on the back of
What?
blue fence. Of new gas. Push it.
Hold on.
Two.
Okay. Where am I going? I'm just kind of standing here. Where should I be heading?
Come to new gas.
You guys? Okay.
I already killed the scab.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Killed
Me and you
this
peeked
one.
that corner at the same. Well, me and peeked that corner at the same time. You were just a lot closer. Fortunately.
It's okay.
Oh, you need scab kills? I'm sorry.
No, no, who cares?
If you need scab kills, I'll fucking hold off. I'm just kind of killing everybody in moves.
I mean, I don't care.
I mean, if you need scab kills, brother, like I
need-
will stop.
Need
Do I put these cameras on
need
the
is a
orange
strong,
tankers?
really, really strong word.
Or is that
Need
or is that
for a
explosives?
task. Is that
So
too
the orange-
strong?
The orange canisters are hazardables, so yeah, they can be blown up. Be careful. Don't shoot
No,
me
no,
too
I was
close.
trying to remember my mission. I remember there being a mission over here where you put like C4 on these.
Oh, the back one, the back tanker, the back orange tanker.
Yeah. Okay. So I the
Next to the
camera
bus.
ones.
Camera. Okay, I need the name of the task.
Viewership. Provide viewership.
Viewership provided. Okay, it's over here. It's up this hill.
Provide
to the
viewership
left.
and its cameras.
Yeah.
Up here, up the hill. Another scav.
Got them both.
Okay.
There's just a scab like planted in this fucking wall.
No, I
It's
literally
so
saw.
funny looking.
Y'all
Okay.
looting the scavs.
Yeah, I am. Ooh, tiny Tachanka.
I'm gonna clear up provide viewership.
Alright.
What about you, T-Bone?
I'm in new construction. Just checking over for any scabs or PMCs.
Alright.
Over in construction.
Piglet, you're the...
Where's the? Yeah, I'm right here.
Alright, I'm gonna take you to provide viewership, and then I'm gonna push old gas.
Okay.
I wonder if I can hit this angle.
I'm fucking dead.
What?
Rashal is over at fucking Crack House.
Oh,
That.
that's weird. That building.
Okay, what do I do?
Man, this is
There's like 4 different spots inside.
yeah,
Hello?
his guard killed me.
Yep. Hold on, I think I just saw one of them. Right here.
No, careful.
That says place.
Okay, yeah. Here.
Okay. God bless it. Move. Go through the fucking hole. Okay.
Alright, that's
You know, like
one.
Where around the track? I'm sorry. T-Bone?
Huh?
Where around track?
I don't know. I was in top of Fortress. I was in top of the new skeleton. And got fucking thoraxed from 600 meters away.
Oh, they're shooting. They shooting over there. Where are you, Duncan?
Old gas.
Old gas.
Yeah.
Doing what? Oh, BP Depot.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the next camera location?
I think it's upstairs.
Yeah, the one's on 3rd floor at the very back. One's right there at the front, and then there's 2 by the entrance.
I have no idea exactly where, so.
Oh wait, no, that's a door close. Oh wait, the closer
Holcomb
place
Hobo
is
is done. Cool. Alright, I'm coming back to you, Pickles.
Yep.
It'll just take me a second.
Ooh, I'm lagging.
Want me to just Google the quest for you real quick?
Negative. Found it.
Good deal.
Okay.
Placing another one.
If y'all can, like gun mags and helmet. I don't care about anything else.
Gun, mags, helmet. You're on top floor fortress.
Top floor of fucking new skeleton.
New
Oh,
skeleton.
I got
Duncan.
killed.
What?
No. He was supposed to. That was him getting shot at.
I couldn't hear it. Through the crack in the window.
Ah,
I'm
shit.
crazy.
That's just him just screamed at me. Is that him pulling up on me?
I'm coming on to viewership.
I was killed by. Let's see here. Grishka Zadoskovsky. Squad.
Is he
you.
running?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yep, yep.
Love.
Hello, love.
Careful. Careful peeking that fucking these windows. He got shot. He was at the far end of this corner, like all the way over here, so be careful.
Okay, so
Those may be the goon. No. Yeah, he just shot at you, so I'm not really
Yeah.
that.
alright, I'm still.
What's the next map we're running?
Well, it's either we run the next map or we stop and play Magic.
They're mad at me.
Alright,
How you want to do this? Is that propane accessory?
Propane and propane accessories. Let's try to get to New Skelly and get T-Bone's shit, and then we'll dip.
Careful.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's straight ahead. You know what? Mine it out.
I hear someone walking.
Yep. It's in New Skelly.
Watch out.
Alright, go.
Oh, fucking goddamn it.
Got you, got you.
I hate when I reload by accident.
Nade, martyrdom.
Martyrdom.
Good shit.
That was a guard.
Yep.
That was probably the one that killed T-Bone.
I think I got him.
Ready? Got him.
Good shit.
Dead. You got him. So
Good deal. Was that a player or?
TNT, yeah.
Okay.
How do I want to do
Just doing this. Oh, he's got a C-Pod mod 1.
this? Straight ahead.
Yep. Dead.
Good shit.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, this guy had a fucking full Zebrala.
Ugh.
Fucking blink this. if I can find you, T-Bone. I'm fucking dying. Oh shit.
All right. Gucci,
Okay, I see.
you see him?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I have his body right here.
Okay. Why was a single guard pushed all the way out here?
Who knows? What do you want, T-Bone?
Gun, mags.
Gun, mags, helmet, preferably. That backpack's also pretty nice, but it's insured. I'll get it back.
Ho-ho!
Careful.
Yep,
I'll move from that fucking corner, big dog.
I know.
Come on, get the fuck out of here. Monkey.
They're pushing. They're in mid, pushing our direction.
Roger.
There's also one strafing,
My nade far.
Yep.
Behind?
No, that's not what we're concerned about. They're in the middle. They're like in between Fortress and Crack. That's where the guy I was shooting at was strafing.
They yelled.
Hold on, I see
Yelling.
someone. I see someone up top. One sec. Guard dead up top.
Okay, I use the alternative solution.
I mean, if it's a solution, it's a solution. I'm glad I got that guard because he was nuzzled in a corner. It's just a scav. There, that's what I wanted.
Going to the right.
Yep. Dead. Guard. Oh! Reloading. Guard.
Dead.
Good shit.
Rashala screamed. Behind there. Careful. Let me see if I can bait him out towards your side.
Got you. Nope. Okay.
It's a normal scav.
Oh, nope. Rashala's in the middle still. Healing.
Can't see the visual.
Got you. It's fine.
I think I have more.
Come on, heal my fucking legs. That's what I give a shit about.
There's a scav you shot and left alone.
And then my stomach. Alright, Gucci. I might have got him.
Maybe.
If I did, he'd be like right around here. Or he pushed inside of mechanics.
I did headshot a scav that direction. Very clear inside or no?
No, I have not.
Inside a garage.
Got you.
Hey,
Got him.
good shit.
You cheeky bitch. With the golden pistol.
Where are you at?
Valley. The valley by the container. You're on my right. Oh, you didn't have shit on you.
You wouldn't expect it to.
Expect to have something a little better. Okay. Oh well, the golden pistol's worth it. Do you want to loot guards or you want to get in and get out?
Let's go back and get our stuff.
Yeah.
Let's Skype left alone. Headache.
Headache. That's a massive headache.
Man, ibuprofen. Oh, fuck my blondie. Fuck my body. Fuck this PMC. These pixels ain't shit to me.
Oh, that's T-Bone's SR-25.
Yeah, I dropped stuff.
Nope,
And it's
you're
go
good.
time.
You're good. You are perfectly okay. I'm going to push to bronze pocket watch.
I'm gonna grab the stuff and reorganize and dip out. Do you care about your backpack?
He said not really. That'll come back on insurance.
I was thinking about taking it, but he's their own.
Yeah, all my gun and mags are insured, so.
17 minutes.
Hold on. There's a scav yell at me.
I heard him.
I gained stamina at 64.
Yeah, I'm gaining stam.
Might have to mule up, actually.
Where the fuck were you? Oh, you're probably inside. Yeah, you're inside. I don't care.
I think you should.
That's 2. Okay. Pushing out of bronze, pushing towards crossroads.
Fuck this Zabralo. I want to move. Pushing towards
Reloading.
where? Sorry.
Pushing out of bronze towards main bridge, pushing towards crossroads.
Can you wait for a nigga though?
Yes I can.
Here's scav on the inside.
Yeah, he's gonna come out in a second. There's more.
Another one.
Dick waits till you scope out to come
Yeah,
outside.
really. Yep.
Professional door closer.
I'm just gonna go push land bridge because it's closer. What the fuck? Alright, I see the drowned piglet, don't worry.
You're good. I was just drowning. So we're doing magic after this, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna jump cats. I'll be
Okay.
waiting.
I'm at 26 energy. I'll be alright.
Sure.
Oh, I have a can of sprats.
We didn't even check our fucking. Oh well.
We didn't check any of our guard kills.
No, I did. I mean, we didn't even check the extra.
Oh no, it's crossroads. Because we'll literally just hit that last marker and then get out at crossroads already.
He is going to big red.
Oh, you're going big red?
Yeah. I've dropped the Zabralo. At least want another chance at a lion.
Okay, that's fair. It's gonna take me a minute because I have
your
zero
time.
energy.
Oh, zero energy?
No, stam. I'm at 80 or 180. I just did emergency water and extra sprats.
Dude, holy fucking mag.
What?
And again, they hold 20. So.
What are you running?
No, I'm talking about T-Bone's SR25 mag.
Are we playing Magic or no?
Yeah, we're gonna play Magic after this.
Hold on. Are you walking?
Yes.
To the blue thing?
Yes.
Oh. Hey, man.
Hey.
Defibrillator, if you need that.
I actually think I do. I don't have the quest yet, but I don't have a defibrillator in my stash. Up top, up top.
Oop.
He
God
turned
damn
the
it.
corner, he's on the stairs, and you still need scabs?
Yeah, take him though. Who cares?
Dead. Thank you. I'm a touch. I'm a body. Ooh, a face shield. Dorms 203. Not the right key I needed.
Cock. Want a cock?
I mean, if I could.
ESU. Oh, and then need that DVD drive too.
Nothing. That one was fucking empty.
RAM still expensive or no?
It's 54K. Okay.
Somebody.
Alright.
Oh, cock.
We're... Oh. Cock. Alright, time to push the garages.
Game.
Game. Why did that make my heart fucking race?
Because I never tell anybody. But just know you're safe.
Thanks.
Random silencer.
It's also probably because I don't hear that sound often, and my brain was like, danger.
Yeah, people need to utilize that more. The second someone comes around that corner, the second you see someone come through too, boom!
You know what I want to do?
I want to blow some of
Because
the
there's
fuck up in
SBT mod.
PvP. Bitcoin.
Because there's the SBT shit, someone ported all of Tarkov to be playable in VR.
Will I live if I shoot
Are you alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, if I was dying fucking dying of laughter, then yeah, I fucking died. Got an armor repair kit.
Oh, that bitch is heavy.
Eh.
Wait. Is this shit able to be played while other motherfuckers aren't in VR?
Maybe.
Bro, I might need to check this shit out.
Come on. Run, you fat fuck.
Come on. Alright,
Why don't you go
30
crossroads?
seconds. Yeah, I'm just gonna... I planted. I got 25. Okay. BP depot done.
Hmm?
Extracting.
Extracting.
Good deal. Thanks to everyone who stayed and watched.